What is going on, guys? I'm Crazy Pickle and welcome back to another Skyforge video. Today we're gonna look at the Berserker class. Again, every ability, class symbols, weapons, etc. Alright guys, let's get started. And the first ability, Mighty Strike, which is your basic attack, inflicts X amount of damage to the opponent. First attack in the combo restores rage. Then the second attack of this basic attack will be Violent Strike. Third attack of the basic attack will be Merciless Strike, and then the last one will be the Crushing Throw. First combo attack is the Fast Attack. Inflicts X amount of damage and knocks the opponent back, stunning them for 4 seconds. Can be used against the same opponent every 44 seconds. Second combo attack is Dissection. Inflicts X amount of damage to all enemies around the Berserker and reduces their movement speed by 90% for 8 seconds. The slowing effect decreases after the 5 seconds. That effect from the same Berserker can be applied to the same enemy only once every 60 seconds. And the last combo is the Fracture. Inflicts X amount of damage to the selected opponent in total, consumes 165 points of rage. Fracture also used to break the shields or deal great damage to shields. Due to the talent of the experienced fighter, Fracture deals 300% more damage to shields. Next ability is a Destructive Attack. Has 2 charge levels. Destructive Strike inflicts X amount of damage to all enemies in 4-yard radius and makes them 30% more vulnerable to damage from Berserker's attack for 25 seconds. Then Destructive Wave inflicts X amount of damage to all enemies in 25-yard radius in front of the character and makes them 30% more vulnerable to damage from the Berserker attacks for 25 seconds. Next ability is the Whirlwind. Enemies in front of are pulled toward the Berserker, taking X amount of damage. Only the monsters already engaged in the battle will be pulled. You can use the ability while moving. Next ability, Leap. The Berserker leaps towards the selected enemy. All movement restricting effects are removed, and they are immune to them for 3 seconds. Inflicts X amount of damage to the target and enemies around it. If no target is selected, the Berserker will leap a distance for up to 24 yards. If the Berserker is stunned, feared, disoriented, or immobilized, they can free themselves once in 14 seconds by using Wild Leap. Crippling Blow inflicts X amount of damage to the enemy in total. Hold down the button and stuns them for 2 seconds. Tectonic Blast inflicts X amount of damage to all enemies in an 8-yard radius. Restores 100 points of rage to the Berserker if it hits 3 enemies, and 50 extra points for each affected enemy beyond 3, up to 350 points of rage for 8 affected enemies. The ability is available in PvE adventures only. Thirst for Battle increases damage dealt by 40% and critical chance by 35% for 10 seconds. Thundering Roar. Monsters in a 10-yard radius of you freeze with a fear for 6 seconds. The ability is available in PvE adventures only. And the ultimate ability, Gladiator. The Berserker unlocks an attack that deals X amount point of damage to the opponent. Weaker targets receive more damage with each use. If the opponent is too far away, the character leaps before attacking. Finishing Strike Carnage. Inflicts fatal damage to the opponent, available when a target has a small amount of health left. Restores 58 points of rage. Rage is your blue bar underneath your health. Talents. Experienced Fighter. Combo attacks are performed 15% faster and deals 42% more damage. Fracture deals 300 more damage to shields. Burning Chain, which is the Elerium 9 talent. Finishing combo strikes, Fast Attack, Dissection, Crushing Throw, and Fracture have a 20, 25, 35, and 40% chance to inflict Burning Chain to the Berserker for 15 seconds, which increases the damage of the next Crippling Blow by 150%. This special talent works both in PvE and PvP. In PvP abilities, we only have 3 different abilities. First one is Flash of Rage. Press and hold the button. Once the attack is ready, the character will inflict X amount of damage to all nearby enemies. The Berserker is immune to control effects while the attack is charged. Uncontrollable Rage restores 400 points of rage. Hold down the button and allows the Berserker to use Fracture twice instantly. The Berserker is immune to control effects and takes 50% less damage while the ability is activated. Ability is available in PvP adventures only. Battle Frenzy instantly restores 70% of damage taken and protects from fatal blows for the next 6 seconds. The Berserker becomes immune to the movement restricting effects and their movement speed is increased by 30%. The ability is available in PvP adventures only. Symbols. First one is a Thrill of Victory. The first destructive attack in a fight will make enemies 30% more vulnerable to damage from the Berserker's attacks for 25 seconds and reduce their movement speed by 50% for 5 seconds. Second one is a Madman's Lot. Every fracture, if it consumes energy, will reduce the cooldown of Firestorm by 10 seconds when the ability is active. The Berserker recovers 1% of health per second for every common enemy hit and 2.5% for every elite enemy or immortal. You can recover up to 5% of health per second. Rage Incarnate. The less rage the Berserker has at the moment of transformation into a gladiator, the more damage they will deal in that form. The maximum bonus is 150% of damage. Every gladiator attack restores 50 points of rage. So Berserker have actually two really good symbols, which one is the Thrill of Victory, and then the second one is Rage Incarnate. So this one usually we using with Gvardar weapon for usually distortions. If it's a God Burst as a Berserker, you can use it as well, I guess, if you in a mortal form, but you can only use it once per fight. And then the Rage Incarnate usually really good combined with the Iron Heart weapon. So it gives you that 150% bonus damage, the lowest your rage is. So basically, if you have absolutely zero rage, you will have a max bonus damage from this symbol. Plus, the Iron Heart will actually heal you as well if you need healing, and you get the restoring, and you will restore your rage back at the same time. If you don't have the Gvardar weapon, you can use the Iron Heart with this because it's a little bit of easier rotation in the Berserker on that part. Because if you're using the Gvardar weapon and then the Thrill of Victory, you do require Allurium 9 talent. But again, let's move on to the weapons and we're gonna talk more about it. Alright, let's talk about the weapons now. So far, Berserker has 3 weapons. First one is the Iron Heart, second one is the Gvardar, the Robust, and then the third one is the Ragnar Deadly Heat. Let's start with the Iron Heart. Each gladiator strikes restores 10% of health to the Berserker and increases the damage of Gladiator strike by 40%. After the Gladiator ability ends, each of the companions' next 3 attacks reduces the ability's cooldown by 27 seconds. Gvardar the Robust. Crippling Blow lasts 3 seconds longer and deals 4 times more damage during that time. Each additional second of Crippling Blow deals 7% damage to the Berserker. After using Crippling Blow, the Berserker becomes invulnerable for 4 seconds or 2 if the ability is interrupted. The Berserker becomes 20% more responsive to healing from any sources. And then the last one is the Ragnar Deadly Heat. When the Berserker kills enemies, they have Bloodlust applied to them, which stacks up to 100 times. The stronger the enemy, the more stacks are applied upon their death. For each level of Bloodlust, the damage of the Whirlwind and the Firestorm is increased by 4%. For now, the best weapons for just the single targets, to maybe heal yourself or deal insane damage to the single targets and distortions and avatars and just simply bosses in general, the Iron Heart and the Gvardar is the best weapons. So of course, the different occasions, whatever you prefer. If you prefer just, getting healing back again and just stay in a fight longer, the Iron Heart will be the best weapon for you if you want to go insane and try to deal as much damage as possible and you can survive really long time. But usually you're using those weapons specifically in Distortions as a God Burst. You can use it again in Immortal phase, not when you are in a God form, but it would also depends on the fight you are in. So if you can be up close to the boss, then yes, of course, you can use the Berserker. But keep in mind that the Gvardar requires you to have Allurium 9 talent because it will boost your Crippling Blow more. In Iron Heart, you only need the green class symbol and the Iron Heart weapon, and that's pretty much it. Berserker class heavily relies on a pay-to-win weapons to be valuable as a DPS. If you don't have any of the 3 weapons I mentioned earlier, the only thing you can do is get a purple weapon with the damage to shield bonus and use Berserker just to break shields on bosses. That's how it was before they started releasing weapons for this class. Well, before those weapons, you could play PvP, because at that time I think Zerk was really good if you know what you're doing. Right now, I don't really know if it's good or not. If someone playing as a Berserker in PvP, let us know in the comment section. Is it good or bad? For PvE, it is required for you to have either Gvardar or Iron Heart weapons. Zerk with Gvardar weapon plus Illyrium 9 talent and proper rotation will be better compared to Iron Heart right now, because Dev's recalculated percentage bonus, probably just for the Iron Heart weapon, I'm not really sure, which drop damage output from this weapon significantly. It is still a good weapon to use, but for the best damage, Gvardar definitely would be better choice. Keep in mind this class only used for distortions/avatars against single targets. You can use it to pull group of enemies in one spot, that way the other DPS classes can use AoE abilities to kill it faster, but for the most part just against single targets. Cooldowns of abilities I think is perfectly fine. You always get back those abilities that you need for the rotation for every buff phases. I think even earlier sometimes. If you want to use this class for your dailies, you can. But why would you do that if there are other classes that do a better job? In general, it would be a really good class for everything if it would be scaled up to the current level of the game. But again, all of the compensation for damage goes from weapons and Invasion Atlas bonuses. I do recommend get that class and learn at the point when you're getting into distortions and avatars, and when you can, get a weapon for it. But that's all I can say so far. If you want to add anything else, leave a comment down below. As always, if you like this video, smash that like button. If not, there's a dislike next to it. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notification bell that you're not gonna miss when I post new video or go in live. Follow me on Twitter, join my Discord server, links in the description. Until the next time, take care.